Hello there. My name is Ben Corcoran from Benzochess here with another lesson today. And today we're going over the Decoy and Clearance Sacrifice lesson. This is going to be a fun lesson. There is quite a few sacrifices in here, and it's sack, sack, sack until you win, pretty much. Even when you're in the most deepest, scariest positions out there that your opponent's about to checkmate you in one, but you can still somehow get that last saving sacrifice of your own piece to actually clear up room for a checkmate or just win back material. And most of the time it's about checkmates. So, and here we're going to go over the first problem, which the first half of this lesson is about decoy. And this is probably the important part, and the other one is the clearance sacrifice is pretty good too. So what a decoy is you're trying to move your opponent's piece away from the diagonal or rank or file or the square they're currently on. It's kind of like removing the defender if you think about it. You're just trying to move them away, and then you move them away so you can win. Okay. And perfect example here in this first problem, it is white to move. And in a perfect world, if this queen was not here, this would be a checkmate. Beautiful, right? But the problem is that queen's there. So what we're going to do is try to get rid of this queen from protecting the square, that pawn, so we can get a checkmate and win this game. Because that's what we want to do. So let's see this position first. It is white to move. Do you know the answer? You know the drill from other videos? I give you 5 seconds to pause and figure it out. You can take 3 to 5 minutes to try to figure it out. Use a clock timer, or you can just zip right through it. Okay? Okay, so here we go. The answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Okay, the first answer is the awesome rook takes c6. Pretty much we're sacrificing our rook for a checkmate. That's what we're trying to do. And then in this scenario, the black queen does not want to take, because you know if the black queen takes, it's just checkmate, lights out, give me that trophy or that big check worth whatever it may be, right? So the queen or the black side, your opponent, will know about this, and they don't want to give that pawn up. So instead, they're going to play queen to b7 here, just to try to hold on. And that rook move there, that's all you need to do, and you got this pretty much correct. But to play it out, now we're going to keep on going and try to get that checkmate. We're going to go with the next move. Rook takes c8, check. With rook taking c8 and check, we're still trying to get rid of this queen off of this rank here. And we're hoping that she just takes. That's what we're hoping for. And if she does, we got ourselves a checkmate. But if she doesn't, well, this is what's going to happen. The king's going to move to h7 to say, no way, Jose. We are staying for the long run. We don't want to lose this game. But now another attempt for a sacrifice, which is just knight taking f6. Is, we got 2 sacrifices. We're trying to get the queen to take our rook, and we're trying to get the knight to be taken. So here it's pretty much forced. Right now, black can just resign, because he cannot just say, well, pass. I'm just going to keep on giving up all my pieces. No, it's right now the king's in check, and there's no way to run away. He goes here, the queen got him. Goes back, well, rook got him from the back rank. So he's forced to actually take. If he doesn't resign, he's forced to take here, and then you got yourself still a checkmate. Queen to g8, checkmate, right? That's how you do it. So it could be simple if your opponent allows it to, or they could try to be difficult, and he can just keep on that fight going on, right? That's what you got to do. Okay, let's get on with problem number 2. Okay, so here is problem number 2. Okay, so we got a total of 9 problems, and half are decoys, the other half are clearance sacrifice. Some's gonna be white to move, some's gonna be black to move. We're gonna flip around in this little lesson here that we got. So here is another decoy puzzle. You gotta see if you can get the opponent's piece away. And a lot of times it's removing the defender, sometimes it's pinning. It's just making sure that opponent cannot protect that rink or file or that square anymore. So here it is black to move. We see that black has everything well covered right now. The queen's covering, the king's covering. The queen wants to take here and give a checkmate. That's what we want to do as black here. We want to take, do the queen takes f2 checkmate. That's what we're trying to do. But how do we do that? This one's a little bit difficult. And this bishop can't take because we got this, nasty pin here too, which we can still deliver checkmate. But it's black to move. So you know what? I'm going to give you 5 seconds to pause the video or just keep on watching and see if you can solve it, right? I would suggest you pausing the video, okay? So the answer is going to come in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to find out the answer. Okay, so here is the one and the only bishop to a6. It's just a nasty move. Look at this. It's pinning the queen to the king. It is just crazy, crazy. Okay. And a lot of things can happen. I mean, the queen could just take the bishop and we just get a simple checkmate. They could just push the pawn and we still take the pawn and still pin the queen to the king. So it almost doesn't matter what white does. And sometimes your opponent might even try to pull a little trick. Well, first they'll play b5, okay? Because they want to, see if they can stop it. See if they have tricked you, right? Get you scared off, make your bishop run away so they don't have to lose the game. But you say, I don't care. Take my bishop, please, right? So now their last trick is maybe they'll do a pawn promotion. They'll promote their pawn to queen and try to scare you. Sometimes your opponents will try to do this in certain scenarios when you're winning. They just want to throw you off the game. They're like, yeah, you got me a checkmate over here, but look at this. I got this nice shiny queen. Use your rook to take my queen, see? Do it, do it, do it, do it. They're trying to distract you. Make the game last a little longer. You're like, I don't care, keep your queen. You can just do the simple, let them have 2 queens on the chessboard. You're going to take queen takes f2 checkmate. Your opponent's going to try to take their queen and take your queen. You're going to be like, look at my bishop. It's pinning your queen to the king. And it's checkmate. Right? That's how it goes. So that's problem number 2 there. You cannot deny it. Black just destroyed white there. Okay, we're going to number 3, trace, right? And that's right here. So here's problem number 3. And it looks very even here. If you count everything, it's an even game. Just by counting the material. But if you really use that, calculator in your head that's built in your head, not taking an actual calculator and doing this, but in your head, you really calculate this through, use that creative mind, you can win some material here. So I'm going to give you a chance to try solving this. It is white to move. You can win the exchange in this scenario. It's going to be about the same material. You might be up a hair, but you could have, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to tell you in 5 seconds. So it's white to move. See if you can find this decoy move, okay? So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to pause your video or just see what the answer is in 1 and 0. Okay, if you haven't paused, do it quickly, or here is the answer. It is rook takes c6. Right? Because the knight was covering the bishop. That's why we decided to sacrifice our rook here. It's just temporary. But after their rook takes c6, we go ahead and take their other bishop. Right? So here, well, yeah, knight and bishop for a rook. Big deal. We count 1, 2, 3, 4. It's same amount of material. But I like to look at it this way. If we count the pieces what we have, it's the same amount of material. 2 rooks versus a rook and 2 bishops is 10 versus 11 points. It's not much. But if you look at the pieces, we have 3 pieces versus their 2. That's a big difference. And a lot of strong players prefer to have the same amount of material but have the extra piece. They rather have the 2 rooks versus a queen. They rather have, well, it'll be a difficult fight, but 3 minor pieces versus a queen, or 2 minor pieces versus a rook. Because if you know how to coordinate your pieces, you're going to just destroy your opponents. And if you look at this, not the arrow, but yeah, look at this whole thing we got covered. From this pawn, from this pawn, from this bishop, and this bishop. Where can the rooks go on this file? The C file is just covered. The only files, or the only thing they got is these 3. And if they want, they can throw one right there, and we could just trade off the last rook or keep it and just go for a fight, right? Okay. So that's the answer. I hope you like my arrows. They're awesome, right? Okay, we're going to go to quatrain number 4. We're going to go with the Fantastic Four here, right? That's what we're going to call it. This is like a Fantastic Four type of tactic here. So this is the, it might be the last decoy or second last decoy. Forgot. I'll see. But here, it is black to move. Like I want to switch up white and black, so it's kind of even, right? This is a very cool tactic. I really like this for black. When I looked at this first time, I'm just like, what is the move? I don't see it. Well, you have to have the creative mind and see just crazy moves all the time. And then once you see it, any tactic you've never seen before, sometimes it just your mind, right? So that's what I love about this type of tactic and any other tactics that I see. And I love to see them in my games too. Once in a while I get these type of tactics in my games. But it's your turn. It is black to move. I want you to try solving this. Actually, you might want to give yourself 3 minutes. If you don't solve it, give yourself 5 minutes to solve this, okay? So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to pause and try to solve it in your head before I give you the answer, okay? So here we go. I'm going to give you the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go, okay? The answer that made me jump off my seat when I first saw this was bishop to g5. I thought this was nuts. I was like, what's going on here? If we take it back, the queen's pretty much trapped. We look at this. The knight's attacking here and here. The bishop is attacking here. So the queen's really trapped, but the only safe square is the square right here, where the queen's at. So we have to try to attack all these squares and the square. The only way to doing that is bring the bishop here, okay? So you have to imagine all that crazy amount of arrows in your head. So sometimes seeing these arrows really help you just see everything, right? Okay, so we're going to do the extremely crazy bishop to g5. And the queen doesn't have anything to do. Maybe white can just resign right now if they want. But maybe your opponents won't see it. And they'll just keep on playing because they want to know what it's like to lose a queen. Queen takes g5. And now, the one and only awesome move, Forkylicious. We got the royal fork here. We're attacking the king and the queen and uppercut, right? That's what we got. The Fantastic Four type of tactic here, right? Because it's problem number 4, Fantastic Four. Okay, so we are forking the king and the queen. So now the next move is, once the king moves, it doesn't really matter where he moves. You're just going to take the queen, and pretty much you got a queen for 2 minor pieces. If you did math, 9 minus 6 is 3. So you pretty much gain a whole minor piece off of that. Or you can just say, well, I got a queen versus your knight and bishop. They got more pieces, but that it doesn't add up to the strength of a queen. So it correctly played, it should be an easy win for black here. Okay. Okay. Okay, here, so I'm going to try to keep up with the nicknames. So we got the Fabulous 5, right? That's what we're going to nickname this one. But in problem number 5 here, now we went from decoy to clearance sacrifice. We went somewhere else, okay? And decoy is a sacrifice to move a piece away so you can go for the attack. Here is a little bit different. One of your pieces is in the way. Yeah. How often does that happen? One of your chess pieces is in the way. So we got to tell that buddy to move so we can deliver that attack. And the issue here, well, I'm going to see if you guys can solve this one, but it's white to move. It's a clearance sacrifice. Give yourself 3 to 5 minutes, and then I'll explain a clearance sacrifice. So, okay, you ready? Here comes the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Okay, so a clearance sacrifice is an example like this. If this rook was not here and was just off the board somewhere else, we have this queen coming here and saying checkmate. Game over, lights out, right? But sometimes it's not that simple. So we have to get rid of this rook. And we can do multiple different things here. And we have to move this rook out of the way. Where does it go is the question. So you can try rook there, but that just blocks it more. But you want to get the queen here. So if you try moving the rook here, it fails because of queen takes, and then the queen covers that important g7 square. So that doesn't work. And if you just go rook here, well, the other rook takes. And now it's protected by the knight, and it doesn't work. I mean, if their knight takes that, then, you know, they blundered and you won the game, but that doesn't work. So we got to go for the safest square, where it's kind of like we want to make a, it's almost like an in-between move. So we're trying to make a forcing move where it's our turn on the next move. So probably the most forcing move, which is usually a check, is moving the rook right here, okay? And by doing that, rook to h7, check, right? They got 2 ways of taking back. They can either take with the king or the knight. It doesn't matter which way. We're going to say the knight, right? Because after the knight, or even if the king was there, we just have the simple queen takes g7 checkmate. That's how simple it is. Your chess piece, like the rook in this example from 2 steps ago, was in the way. We want him out of the way, but give us the move in that position so we can deliver it, attack, and win, holding that trophy in the air. The Stanley Cup, right? Or the Vince Lombardi trophy. Whatever trophy is your sport. Okay, we're going to go with number 6 now. So here is number 6. And the Sinister 6. It's a part of the Marvels. They're all bad guys against Spider-Man. Okay, so the Sinister 6. And who are the Sinister 6, right? That is 1 queen, 2 rooks. That's total 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to just name this the Sinister 6, okay? And it's so crazy that 4 of them out of the 6 are actually attacking our king. And if we say, I don't know what to do, skip, it's your move. If we tell our opponents that, which they're playing black in this position, well, we're sitting ducks and it's just queen takes, check. Okay. And it's supported by the rook and the bishop. And let's say our rook was already here, right? And he still sacrifices his queen and with our rooks there. Well, after our rook takes, his other rook takes, checks, and this is covered by the other rook. So he has a lot of pressure on our king. Our king doesn't really have anything going. We're sitting ducks here. We don't have anything going on. We're about to lose this game. So we gotta figure out how to get out of this mess. Is it time to resign? Well, sometimes you have to find forcing moves. Remember, forcing moves are checks. It's usually forcing your opponents to have to deal with a certain scenario, because a situation that you deliver check with, okay? Most of the time it's just checks, okay? So what we're trying to do is do a forcing move, and so they have to reply to our forcing move. Instead of delivering checkmate, they have to first, deal with their issues. So they got this beautiful checkmate coming up, but we have something else that's even more beautiful than that. So it is white to move. Let's see if you can solve it. I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hopefully you pause and try solving it. Otherwise, here is the answer. It is the amazing, amazing Spider-Man move of sacrificing, or Captain America joined the battle too, of queen takes g5 check. This just seems like a checkmate, right? Oh, I forgot. I totally forgot the knight's there. Oh no. Oh no, my queen, as Eric Rosen likes to say, right? And then he just takes her queen. But you know what? It's not done yet. That queen was in our way. This is a clearance sacrifice. We had to deliver mate not with the queen, but with something else. So we get our amazing Spider-Man in the game, which is the knight. He swings into f5 check, checking the king. And he can't go here because of the pawn and the knight, so he only has one square to go. And it's g6. What can we do now? We have to find a way. It's almost like we want to take the knight. But do we take the knight? No. It's just a simple little pawn push for a checkmate. And the king is just a sitting duck. He is getting attacked by the pawn, and anywhere else is covered. So that is checkmate, right? So we're going to go with 7. Here comes lucky number 7 here. Okay, with lucky number 7, this one's kind of crazy and difficult to see. This is very, very creative. You have to have the creative mind to come up with this. It's kind of like one of the previous positions we had. You have to be very creative, and sometimes you're trying to trap a piece. Okay, sometimes when you're trying to trap a piece or go for checkmate, but here we're trying to trap a piece. Put him in his cage. We have to set the trap, whatever we can, however we can lure him into the trap, right? And we're trying to lure this queen into a trap. So we have to try to be creative and lure that queen into a trap. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds, wait to move, to pause, try to solve this. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you need to try to solve it on your own. If you can't figure it out, you'll see the answer, okay? So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. The answer is a crazy bishop to f7, taking f7, check. Sacrifice, right? Who would have ever thought about sacrificing a piece to trap another piece? It happens all the time. So here, rook's going to take back on f7, and then all we have to do is have our Spider-Man guy, the knight, come back into play, if you're a Marvel person, sorry, but swings right back in to the great c4 square, and it's now hitting the queen. And the queen is now trapped because this pawn is protected by the rook. it's being attacked by the knight, and the knight's attacking here and here. Okay? And this square is covered by the pawn, another pawn here, and two more pawns here. So this whole rank, the fifth rank is covered. It's being attacked on the square. It can't take the pawn because of the rook. It can't go here because of the knight. And it can't go here because of the bishop. Did you see that bishop? That's amazing. Just not forgetting about that bishop. So that is the trap that we use a clearance sacrifice to perform a trap. Awesome, right? Okay, so we got that trap. We got two more problems. Let's go with problem number 8. This problem should be simpler, so I expect you all chess players to be able to figure this out, okay? This shouldn't be too hard. It's white to move, so I'll give you guys 5 seconds to pause your video to try solving this, unless if you're ready for the answer, okay? So I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to go with a queen sacrifice of queen takes f5. And what should black do here? Can do many things, but it's going to end up losing material anyways, and it could even fall for a checkmate. But what happens here is rook takes f5, and then we got the royal fork. We're attacking the king and the queen and do the uppercut and win some material. It's awesome like that, right? We give up the queen, sacrifice, royal fork, king moves out of the way, and take his queen. So pretty much we just trade. It's by doing that fork, we actually, in a way, traded queens and won a knight. So we're up a full minor piece. Looking in here, we actually have a rook up. I give that 2 thumbs up. So, okay, let's go with 9. Save the last for best, right? This is a little bit crazy, a little bit tricky. Okay, so this is number 9. We're going to save this the last for best. And this is white to move. This one's tricky, but it's should be able to solve it no problem. For this position, the clearance sacrifice part is actually bishop to c7, because we're moving the bishop from here and threatening checkmate. And there's not many moves that black can do to get out of this actual threat of checkmate. And the threat is, you know, bishop taking the queen. Now, if the queen runs away, like for example here, then we have a simple checkmate. If the same thing if the queen goes to that corner, so now the queen is actually forced to take here and just survive. So a couple of different things. This pawn push right here could be played, and we just take the queen. This is the simplest. And if they have to push this pawn in order to survive the checkmate threat. I mean, if the queen takes, we take here, and we're going to win material. And if they decide to take back, it should be a checkmate pretty quickly. So that's the clearance sacrifice part, because you have a threat of checkmate. So that will be it. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I will catch you guys on the upcoming quizzes and other future lessons. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the flip side.